Hi, I'm Lauren from LSP Actions. Welcome to this tutorial for our arch texture background overlays. Texture backgrounds are generally best applied to mid-tone plain backgrounds. You know, thinking your creams, your greys, your darker to mid-browns. These should give the best results. But what if you want to apply it to white? Well, I thought I would load up a very, very white image. Beautiful backlit shot here by Anna Brandt. You can see this is so white. So I've put together one of the actions that you get with this set as a bonus to help you apply the texture to your white background. Please watch video number 1 if you're unsure about loading these arches in, how to get started, the actions, downloading, unzipping, everything like that. I'm just going to dive in assuming you have watched the first tutorial. So when we're going to add our arch, we're going to click white backgrounds. And we're going to choose a portrait arch because this image is in portrait mode. So portrait means tall. I'm going to choose a light one because, you know, you're better off giving yourself the best chance with the white background. Like I say, it's not, you know, it's not necessarily the done thing to add a texture to white. So I'm going to add, let's say this one, it's quite nice and light. The arch will come in over the top of your image, slightly transparent. Make sure the direction of light is, you know, going the same way. This image, the light is mostly coming from the right. And it is in the arch as well, so that's fine. If it's not, you can right click and choose flip horizontal at this stage, or you can use the flip action once you've added it in. Now I'm just making sure that this is kind of lining up with our subject, and I'm just going to double click or hit enter. At any point you can change the arch out. If you put one in and you think, that's not the one, you've got plenty to choose from. So now you can see it's added it in. It's actually done quite a nice job considering we've got such a bright white background. We have a lift and line the arch for white layer. I'm just going to turn this right up for this one. I'm also going to grab a black brush, make it nice and big, and I'm just going to lightly paint this arch off certain areas of our image, just to give it the best chance of really showing up. I'm going to add a manual hue and saturation layer here. Because I clicked on the arch, it's automatically clipped in, and I'm just going to take that saturation down. I can even move it slightly into the blues to give it a very abstract look for this particular image. So I'm just going through, just blending, blending, blending. I'll switch back to a white just so we can get some of this shadowing in on the arch. It's important to change your brush hardness as you go depending on which area of your image you're working on. And we don't want this to look too muted, so I'm just kind of dabbing it around. Adding to white is one of these hit and miss things, especially such pure white, which is why I wanted to show you with an image that is just so white. This is a high key backlit image. But I think we've done a good job. Might turn that off so we've got our yellows back in. And there we go. How about we add another one? So I'm going to hit white background. Let's add one with even more depth to it, just so we can see something completely different. How about number 32 here? So it's just setting up the layers. Let's just add that in. Stretch to fit. Whoa. You just love it when Photoshop does that. Make sure the light is coming in the same direction. And just let that go for a second. The action is playing out, making our subject selection for us. If you're adding a second arch, you can just Control or Command click on the subject selection. Back on your arch mask, Control or Command I. There we go. So I'm just going to do the same again. I'm just going to start blending these together. A bit more lift and lighten in there. We're just painting on the mask. And I'm going to take a little bit of the saturation down with a hue and saturation. Being able to do a little manual editing will really help you here. So as you can see, I'm just switching between a black and a white brush. I'm doing that by holding my finger, my index finger is actually on the X key of my keyboard. And that means I can switch between black and white brushes really quickly. Just making sure everything is blending in together. And there we go. You can add subject and background editing layers if you wanted to. You can play with the level of blur on your background. I think definitely keep a little bit of blur for these, just a small amount. It adds the depth. So there's our before and our after, and that's adding these to a pure white background. I've gone extremely light with this background, this image here from Anna Brandt, backlit high key image. If you're adding to softer whites, more standard whites, that will come out even better. So I hope that helps with your white editing and being able to add these kind of very interesting backgrounds to your white images as another string to your bow in the gallery. I'm Lauren, thanks for watching.